But
However,
retail in Vietnam?
That retail in Vietnam.
Wait, 100% foreign-owned company cannot retail in Vietnam?
They can, until now can.
Really?
Yes.
Hi, welcome to the Voice of Vietnam Manufacturing Interview Series. My name is Chris. I'm a sourcing expert that's been living in Vietnam for the last 10 years. Today, allow me to introduce you to...
Okay, so let's talk about setting up a company. If you come to Vietnam, you're either coming here to have fun or you're coming here to do business.
Yeah.
Correct? But there are some people who will come here to have fun, but they don't really need to set up a company, and they might just keep getting a tourist visa over and over again, and they're not doing anything illegal. They rent a place to live, they pay the rent, they follow the law. They're just here on a tourist visa. At what point is it necessary to open a company?
Because Vietnam is a very support for the foreigner to set up the company in Vietnam. So if the foreigner wants to set up the company in Vietnam, the law is not required they have the visa in Vietnam. Example, Andre is not still in Vietnam, Andre in overseas, but Andre can contact with the lawyer in Vietnam. We can support the client to set up the company in Vietnam. It's very easy. And including the bank account, the client can open the bank account by the company name.
Without being here?
Yes, correct. And the bank will support to get the online opening the bank account for the foreigner. But after you set up the company in Vietnam.
But why would someone want to do that? Why would they want to be, say, in America or in Russia, but they would want to set up a company here? Why? What would be the reason? What would be the logic for that?
Because the Vietnam government, they want to encourage more the foreigner come to Vietnam and set up the company in Vietnam. Because in the beginning, you just set up the company, but after you must still leave to Vietnam for operation of the company. And after, if the foreigner they set up the company in Vietnam, they can hire more employee in Vietnam.
Ah, okay, all right.
Yes.
So, okay, the foreigner sets up the company in Vietnam, and then they hire employees.
Yes.
Right. Okay. All right.
And
that makes sense.
they can pay more the tax in the Vietnam. Yeah.
Understood. Okay, that makes sense. So if they plan to hire local employees, both local Vietnamese, or if they plan to have foreigners working here,
yes,
they need to set up a company.
Depend on the position. Depend on the position. Yeah.
And the other case is when they want to actually manufacture in Vietnam. So let's say somebody just wants to buy raw materials,
yes,
make something,
yes,
and then export it,
yes,
or sell it domestically.
Yes.
Then they need to have a company.
Yes, of course, you need the company, because if you don't have the company, it's very difficult to contact to the local company. Because if you sign a contract with the local company, so normally the local company requirement payment in Vietnam. If you want to payment in Vietnam, you must have the company and bank account.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, very good. So what are the required documents for individuals to open up a company?
I think it's very simple at the Vietnam law. If you want to set up the company in Vietnam, you only provide the passport. The passport, if you're still in Vietnam, we can support you to notarize in the notary public. But if you're not still in Vietnam, you can go to the Vietnam consulate and chop the stamp in the notarized copy in the passport that is on. And for bank statement, you only need to get the color scan, or because you have the online system, and you can provide the color scan in the bank statement, or you can go to the bank, you get the original bank statement and you send to us. And our company can support clients to have the visual office in Vietnam, so you don't worry about the office. That is all.
Right, so you need your passport, you need bank statements, and then you have to have a
office.
Yeah, an office, an official place of doing business in Vietnam.
Yes.
And how much does it cost to set up a virtual office here in Vietnam in order to establish a company?
Yes, we can provide the virtual office to client, and normally we give the advice to client just it's the basic cost. Basic cost for the virtual office in the beginning, and we will charge is it's 25. It's 25 US per month.
Right.
In the beginning.
Gotcha. So the virtual office in Vietnam costs $25 per month.
Yes.
All right. Cool.
25.
Yeah. So that's why if you needed to bring money into Vietnam to do business, a big amount, first you have to set up the company.
Yes.
Right? And then as you set up the company, you have a bank account.
Yes, of course.
Then once you
the company must open the capital account.
Gotcha.
And then you must transfer the money to the capital account.
Okay, and it's unlimited. The amount of money in.
The amount depends on the license. It depends on the investment certificate. How much you release it for the paid up capital.
Okay, understood.
And you can transfer is a maximum enough equal the paid up capital you registered in the license in Vietnam.
Okay. And again, there's two scenarios. One is a tourist and one is business. So we're talking about businesses.
Yes.
If a business wants to transfer money out of Vietnam, how do they do it?
Do you have questions about producing in Vietnam? Join one of my live webinars every Wednesday, 1 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon, that include a 20-minute question and answer session. Links are in the description below.
For the business, it means you already had the company in Vietnam, example, and then you want to transfer the money from the company to overseas. Then the company must show the paper to the bank why you want to transfer the money to overseas. Example, the purpose is you buy anything from overseas to the Vietnam company, and you can show it the contract, the invoice you buy, or you want to use any service from the overseas company. Then you also need to show the contract, the invoice. Or if your company already have profit in Vietnam, so in the end of the year, you show to the bank you already had the financial statement, audited financial statement with profit.
Like this.
And you already pay full tax to the government.
Tax, right.
You print all the document to the bank, and the bank will agree you can transfer the money out to Vietnam.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
And
this is for business.
Right, for business.
For personal, if you are just a employee, you don't have the company in Vietnam, you can transfer the money out if you have the work permit and if you already pay for the tax, the personal income tax in Vietnam.
Tax, right?
Yes.
Cool.
The tax for the transfer profit abroad is until now is zero. Yeah, but you just to pay is mean the income tax of the company and the personal income tax for the personal.
Right. So,
but transfer profit to overseas is no tax. Yeah.
Okay. If someone wants to open a company in Vietnam, what are the common types of companies that they can open?
Yes. At the law and as my experience, some my clients sometimes and they want to know about the limited company and don't stop company. Limited company just is for the limited company you have two options. Option one is a one company, one member limited company. For the one member, it means that you only have one founder. It's one personal or one company. And if you have more one, you can use the limited company with multi-member.
Okay, so we're talking about limited liability companies.
Yeah.
And they can either be a one-member limited liability company or a multi-member limited liability company. Okay,
Yeah.
good. And then the other one was joint stock companies.
Yes.
Is there...
The don't stop company, you must have at least 3 folder in the company.
3 founders.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, minimum.
Okay.
Minimum is 3 folders. Can personal or can company, but minimum is 3 folders. And if you want in the future, you want to company is a big company, and you issue the share, and you want to put the company in the list public company, you must set up the don't stop company.
joint stock. I see. If you
Yeah.
want to be listed on the stock exchange, you have to
Yeah,
be a joint
because
stock.
a limited company cannot issue the stock.
Is it possible for a foreigner to have a 100% foreign-owned company?
Yes, but depend on the scope of business the client want to set up the company in Vietnam. Example, Andre, you just set up the consulting company, software company, construction company, you can set up 100%. But example, some scope of business, you cannot set up 100% the foreign owned. Example, logistics company. Yeah, so depend on the scope of business. This is very important.
And then the other option, if you don't do 100% foreign owned, is you do a partnership. So 50-50, 60-40
Yeah.
with a Vietnamese person.
Yes.
And so we know that a foreigner can have a 100% foreign-owned company, or they can join a 50-50, 60-40%
Yeah.
split with a Vietnamese and open up a partnership company. So what are the differences?
The difference depend on the scope of business, and the company can do what the company can do if you set up 100%, or if you set up the joint venture. It means the partnership between the foreign company and the local partner. If 100%, example for the trading company, you only can do the right to import, the right to export, the right to wholesale, the right to retail. Example.
But
However,
retail in Vietnam?
that retail in Vietnam,
Wait, 100% foreign-owned company cannot retail in Vietnam?
they can until now can.
Really?
Yes. Until now can. You can see it's a more company. Now it's a 100% already open more the retail in Vietnam. Example, you know the lock and lock? The lock and lock?
Oh.
Yeah, they are 100% of the foreigner is Korea. Yeah. They also can do the retail in Vietnam, and you can see it's many company. Example for the Amazon, it's so many company. They do retail on Sanjo, but until now there is retail.
So does it depend on?
Yeah,
this?
Andrick, you already have the retail, and you 100%.
So it means that I can buy
Yeah,
and I can sell locally, like I can sell on Shopee.
yeah, of course.
Oh, really?
However, if you want to open the retail outlet, you must get another license. I just tell you the right. But if you want to do it, you must get the license.
Okay.
Or if Andrick want to sell to the Shopee, it's no problem. But if Andrick you want to open a website, your website, so you need to register the website with the trading ministry in Vietnam
Okay.
before you can sell. But the right you can.
Okay. What if I want to buy raw materials, like for example garments? So I buy fabric, I buy thread, I buy labels, I buy poly bags, hang tags, and then I sew them all together and do processing. Can 100% foreign-owned company do processing?
Yeah, but you must have the factory. You cannot do processing if you are the foreigner. You cannot do processing if you don't have the factory. The limit.
So you're saying, okay, so I'm 100% foreign-owned company.
Yes.
If I go out and set up a factory,
Yes.
the factory will be 100% foreign-owned.
Yes.
Cooperation with my company.
Yes.
So,
And the factory and Andrick can do the manufacture or processing.
oh, okay.
But you must have the factory.
Oh.
If no factory, you cannot.
Okay.
But if you have the local, but if the local company, no factory, you can. Yeah.
Okay, understood. If you have the factory, that's the key.
Yes.
Opening a factory is a lot of other paperwork and a lot of investment.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So some difficult for the factory, because if you want to set up the company with the factory, you need to have the leasing contract with the owner in maybe in industrial park.
Yes.
Because until now, if you decide the leasing contract outside, it's very difficult to get the license.
Right.
Thanks for listening. Is your business struggling due to delays out of China or quality control issues in India? When is a good time to get on-the-ground advice or factory introduction from an expert in Vietnam? Schedule a one-on-one chat with me, or let's meet for coffee in Ho Chi Minh City. And remember, thoughts are things, and where there's a will, there's a way.